Well, hello friends, Fujosevich here. Welcome back to some Hearthstone with some Barnes Control Shaman as we continue. Uh-oh. Oh, that's kind of scary. We're playing up against a nice little hand buff Paladin, and Devolve, I think, is one card that should do absolutely fantastic against this deck. Spell Power. And Spell Power would have been great there as well, but that's okay. Because next turn we're going to have a nice Barnes, and so the whole idea behind this deck is we have Barnes and a whole bunch of great and strong, powerful minions. And that lets us really get some really big value. Ysera is one of the ones that you do want to be drawing from Barnes, not in hand, and also Yashiraj. Although if we get a Emperor Thaurissan, that's great, and Earth Elemental is not great, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's also a wow. And then that's a Squelch. I think this Acolyte of Pain is going to be the death of me, I think. Ooh, True Silver is also awful. I wanted to save the Evolve because I wanted to be a little bit greedy. But maybe that was a horrible decision. And maybe that's going to end up wrecking us. How bad is Aldor right now? Aldor's awful, right? Give maximum value. I think we have to kind of take the greedy line here. We just have to play greedy and hope that we don't get Aldored. And if we do, well, then this coined out Acolyte of Pain pays off big time. And if it doesn't, then I guess it's actually probably a pretty decent... 3's okay. Oh, and not going to be taking it. That's interesting. But that's also okay. Now, I don't want to use this devolve. I would use this devolve if I had another one in hand. Just because I feel like the second I devolve, my opponent's just going to... Oh boy. I just hope we don't get a 1-1 here, I think. I don't even know what to do right now. Is it worth the Lightning Bolt? I think we just give him the card draw. That's fine. So now next turn we can Emperor Thaurissan Lightning Bolt if we need it, although we're probably going to get hit with some more minions on board. And if and when that happens, we're going to want... How big is that going to be? Wait, has he even buffed his entire hand? Well, apparently not in a while, huh? Okay, so now we have Lightning Storm at least. 2, 5, 7. It's potentially a board clear. If we get Spell Power, it's a potential board clear, right? Then it's 3 plus 2 is 5. Actually, it is. Spell Power is a guaranteed board clear. Overload 2, meaning next turn I could still play Thaurissan. But I'm playing Thaurissan onto less. But I feel like I take too much damage. That honestly didn't save me that much damage. But you know what? I still think it removed enough from our opponent's hand. And we are going to have our devolves and another 2 hexes to hopefully deal with a Tyrion that we hope we dodge for a couple more turns, to be honest. Our opponent's at 10 cards right now, and that would be really horrible for us. So what we need is our opponent to dump their hand. Oh boy. Lots of a couple discovered cards. Healed 2. What's a 2 mana spell? Oh, was that the 2 mana spell right there actually? Yeah, it was. I was going to say, that's the only one that I really know of. We have a random minion. Oh boy. 3 mana 2/4 is not great, but once it gets buffed up, it's reasonable. 4/5. Sylvanas is interesting and maybe a better tempo play. So I'm going to go for that one right now. Because now we have potential for Ysera into Yashiraj. Into seeing what happens with our opponent and these... They just give me a 1-1. They could just sack their board and give me a 1-1. If I played Emperor, they could sack the 4 and the 1 and keep a 2-4. Whereas here, we clear their board. And so what we're hoping is they have nothing but really small minions. And then we get to devolve everything. That's really not that great. But it's only 6 damage, so I'm kind of happy playing Ysera. Especially because next turn I can start doing Healing Wave. And, I mean, if I have to. Healing Wave is still actually overhealing me because I expect it to heal to full with this deck. And the only issue is we do have our one small minion, Blood Mage Thalnos, still in our deck. And that's kind of one of those ones that you don't mind cycling early. But also if you do have it for late game, it's great because we do have a couple pretty big spells. And that's kind of the whole point of this. Oh, that's really unfortunate for us. This is almost a devolve. This is almost a devolve, I think. We could... is that yeah, it's a guaranteed board clear. I don't mind that. I don't mind. Okay, so the plan here is I'll Blood Mage into Elemental Destruction, hoping that now that everything's buffed, our opponent wants to drop a lot of their cards, then we can devolve next turn is the idea. And doing this also guarantees that we're going to be able to play a couple things this turn. We'll be able to Totem, as well as playing a Laughing Sister, which Laughing Sister maybe not super strong, but it's still a 3-mana, it's still a 3/5 on board, which could potentially deal with a couple things from our opponent and doesn't just die freely to a True Light Silver. Oh boy. More cards. I think it's worth a Hex. I think this is worth a Hex simply because it'll make our opponent think. And now we get a 1/1 and we're very sad. Taunt is the best. Spell power is also actually pretty juicy. And now next turn we're being able to do great things. And again, if our opponent sees that we just played 1 Hex, maybe they're going to throw Uther. True Silver trade, that's, you know what? Laughing Sister eating a 1 True Silver charge, I'm okay with it. I can't believe this game is going so far into fatigue here, but it's fine. At this point, I think I'm tempted to Yashiraj here. Actually, wait, how many cards are... They're almost all glittering there, right? This is obviously not... Oh, wait, how much damage is it? 9, 10, 11, 12. You know what? Even though this is just an easy trade, because our opponent has so much on board, I'm really, really worried. And that's also good to see that a Doppelgangster is still in hand, or in the deck, and not in hand when a couple of the buffs have gone off already. Although I think our opponent has been pretty good at not playing any of their super small. They played one of the Enforcers, which buffed their entire hand, which is, I think, these shiny ones left, on the left. And there was one early buff early on in the game to buff that initial Acolyte of Pain, which really got me into this whole predicament. And other than that, they haven't buffed a whole lot of cards in their hand. It's just been kind of a nice, really easy... sort of curving out, you know, control Paladin type of game. And it's just because I've been playing such a slow deck that they really had time to be able to do that, which is kind of cool. This is, I mean, I've mentioned it a lot, but these are the slow types of thinking Hearthstone games that I really do enjoy. Ooh, I hope Thorsan lives. He should survive. Oh, and just use the weapon now. That's fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. No spell power for me. I feel like... Yeah, now I feel like Rage Unbound is pretty good. And I'll just make sure that this stays at 1 draw here. And now the only issue is Devolve is actually not necessarily... Hey, that's pretty good. Devolve is not necessarily the best thing in the world against Doppelgangster. And that's simply because they're all going to be 5 mana or something like that. And so he gets a whole bunch of 4 manas, but they aren't going to be crazy statted at least. So there is obviously that. And they were all buffed there, so that's actually pretty good. That's fine. Play more, play more. This is reasonable, I think. Oh, this is very good. I'm very happy with this. I think we should all be very happy with this. Let's go ahead and devolve. Still can't deal with it. Do I attack in? Do I attack in? No, trade. No, there's really no point in me attacking in here, I don't think. I'm obviously not hexing anything. We'll just hope Rag does awesome Rag things. So here or face, please. Hey, that's a Malagos. Oh, that's one of the less excellent targets. And we're feeling very good. Normally, this is a kind of a scary card to play against Paladin because you're just waiting for that Equality Consecrate or Equality Pyro. But because it's hand buff Paladin, and hand buff Paladin really is not known for having large board clears of any kind. They might not even be running a Consecration, to be honest. Unless these cards are all buffed. So unless this card is Equality, the one that they just top decked, 1 out of 7, I think we're very okay. Go for it, bro. Do it, man. I'm actually kind of okay with this. That's not what I was expecting at all. But you know what? I'll totally take it, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me. I know I'm going to continue to have a whole bunch of fun with some more fun decks this entire season. So if you want to be hanging out for that, feel free to hit that big red subscribe button below. I'll see you next time.